there are a lot of different relationships going on, not just between John and Savannah, so. It's intense. I'm not gonna say it's a funny movie. It's not a lighthearted movie, but it's realistic.
Look, I knew what The Notebook did to my girlfriend at the time, you know, I mean, just utter fireworks, and, I mean, waterworks, I mean, and, you know, that, it was for a reason, you know, those movies just hit something inside of everybody. I mean, I think even guys, like, you know, at the end of the movie, guys are just trying to hold it together. You're just like, and, you know, there was something about that you know, that's very, very interesting, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure, I think, for everybody. It's kind of like dance movies, haha. And so you read it, and I think that I really didn't expect it to be as kind of hard-edged as it was. It was a little darker than some of the things that I had seen in the past from him.
The most romantic thing I ever done, I was just thinking about it the other day, actually. I just flew in and surprised somebody before he woke up, and he was my first boyfriend ever. And I flew in, I was making my first movie, Mean Girls, and I flew in, and I took a taxi to his Manhattan apartment, and I got in bed with him, and he was just so surprised.
I mean, I don't know, yeah, I mean, I hope I'm a little romantic. I wouldn't say I'm, like, overly romantic, but I do like, I mean, look, I like these kind of movies. You know, I like chick flicks, so, I mean, I don't know if that's really romantic, and I like doing little things, leaving notes around the house and stuff, but I don't know.
Has your wife seen it?
Yeah, she's seen it.
What did she think?
She loved it. I mean, look, like I said, she, you know, cries her eyes out at The Notebook at a certain moment every single time, you know, and it's waterworks, you know, but she's a little emotional little being, so it's not that hard to make her cry.
All the kissing scenes and the romantic scenes, they're silly. Like, we made it silly and we made it fun, because it can be awkward, you know, when your partner is visiting, or, you know, he was engaged at the time.
I'm sure it's a little weird. I mean, it's weird for all, you know, when I see her with somebody, but you get through it. I mean, it becomes more of a thing that you just sort of, you know, block it out, and you don't really, you know, it's not real. You know your loved one so well that you know what they're really feeling.
First of all, he's funny. He's really charming, but in an honest way. There's lots of versions of charming, as we all know. He's a guy's guy, but he's so sensitive to how people are feeling around him. He's the greatest guy. It's so hard to not fall in love with him.
I mean, everybody sort of knew exactly who she was from Mamma Mia, and that's, I'd seen her in other things, Mean Girls and a few other things, but as soon as she came in, we were all cracking up. I mean, I don't know if you've met her yet, but she's hilariously funny. And she's kind of like really quirky and interesting, and she's so talented that she makes really interesting choices, and you know, and when you see a bunch of girls in a row, it's always like the one that comes in and makes these like really like sideways choices to do in a scene that you remember, and we remembered her for sure. And plus, she's beautiful and funny, and you know, you can't replace that.
I'm telling you, he's the best co-star I've ever had.
I generally get really fat in between films, so I just ran. I mean, that's just the honest truth. I really like food, and that's it. You know, I mean, there's no really process, and I was supposed to be probably, you know, maybe a couple years younger than I am now, and you know, and he's a soldier. You know, so I mean, his part of his duty is to be in shape and ready, and you know, just making sure I wasn't trying to be ripped or anything. It just needed to be accurate, you know, to what this kid would look like.